Joining us in studio is head coach DeMeco Ryans. Coach, great to see you. Happy New Year.
Great to see you guys. Happy New Year to you as well.
All right, so it is New Year's week, but we'll get into that later. Obviously, coming back from, we call it a mini bye. I don't know how you look at it. How did you feel getting back out of the practice field on Monday after a little bit of time off since the last game?
It's always good to get some time off, especially, after a rough outing, as rough an outing as we had versus Baltimore. It's hard to kind of sit and enjoy Christmas because it's just stirring, right? Yeah. What just happened on the field set with me. It was hard to deal with, but, after a couple of days, you really have to just flush it, right? Learn from it and, took down some really good notes on what we were doing, how we can improve and get better, and then just took the weekend to really enjoy time with the family. And that's what that was about. And now coming back today, hitting the field was even better of just getting back out, flushing it, right, getting our guys back to doing football. And we just got to continue to play football better. And so today was the start of that. And if we continue that focus as we go throughout the week, we'll end up in a really good spot versus Tennessee.
Coach, you said something in your press conference that stayed with me. You're like, get the ball right. Like, get right playing ball. And I like that saying because it is getting back to the blocking, the tackling, the fundamentals. I know even at the NFL level, you still, at some sense, those things have got to be a focus, do they not?
For sure. It goes back, and I know it's like a broken record, but it goes back to the fundamentals of the game. Like, can we sustain a block and finish a block, and now we got a crease, right? Can we be at the proper depth on our route? Can we execute it the right way? Can we be more firm in protection? Can we have our eyes right defensively? Like, can we fit the run the proper way, understanding the block recognition that we're getting? So all of those things it's football, right? If I step back and as I reviewed the game and I kept going through it, it's just for me, it's like, are we doing football the right way? Right. And that just goes back to, are my eyes right? Do I knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, and then getting it done. So that's a lot of, like, what I talk about execution after the game. Like, that's what it comes down to, right? We had our opportunities to make plays, like, but are we going through the progression the proper way? Are my eyes the right way? Like, am I sticky in coverage? Am I finishing my rushes? Tackling, am I securing the tackle, wrapping up, or am I just throwing an arm out there? Am I running my feet once I secure? So it's all those little things that kind of goes unnoticed in games, and you kind of talk about the big plays in this moment, momentum, all those things. But once the ball is snapped, I want our guys to be hyper-focused on what they have to do and then get it done.
Is that one of the big keys in building confidence? Because I know you want to go into the postseason with some confidence, and whatever happens in the game against Tennessee happens in the game, but you have all these practices until you play a playoff game, right?
Yeah, for sure. That goes into that confidence. Like, confidence is earned, and I truly believe in it. Like, to gain confidence, you got to go do it right over and over repeatedly. Like, when you repeatedly do things the right way, that's how you get confidence in what you're doing. So for us, that's practice reps, that's walkthrough reps. Everything you do, is it the right way? Everything. If it's not, so I'm telling our coach, hey, start it over, redo it. Like, you got to bank good reps. And that's how you get confidence, and that's how you can step out there on Sunday knowing, like, whatever is thrown at me, whatever I've seen, like, I've already done it. I have that, my body knows it. Like, it's almost second nature, where I'm just pretty much coasting because I've done it right so many times.
Coach, how much at this particular point of the year after a game like that do you want/need your leaders on the team to step up and say, Coach, we're good. We got this. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen. How important is it for those leaders right now, when everybody's tired, mentally, physically tired, to step up and be leaders of the team right now more than anything else?
Yeah, leadership is the most important thing. Like, the best teams are the player-led teams, right? It's only, as a coach, you can say it over and over again or say so many things, but when it comes from amongst the team, when it comes from the leaders, and guys, of course, listen to that better. They take it and receive it better because they're in this thing. It's all, and I always tell guys, right, I'm here to serve and help you. Like, it's your team, right? And we're only going to go as far as our team can take us, and that starts with our leaders and their message to the guys and making sure their groups are excelling and playing at a high level. And it's also, it's more when I can't let my teammate down.
Right.
that's when it means more. Every team that I've been on, and when I've kind of played my best and been more urgent, it's like, oh, I can't let the guy next to me down, right? That's when it means more. Not so much of the coach, but it's my brother in that locker room and our leadership. I think Aziz, getting him back really helps with that leadership piece, because he's one of our leaders, and we've been missing him the past 3 weeks. So I'm excited to see him back and just to see, his messaging to our guys and to see them receive it and take off with it.
Usually it's week to week, and don't look past the opponent, but the situation is you won the division, you're in the postseason. So how do you address the team that way? That this is 2 weeks until we play a playoff game, but there's an important game Sunday because we want to play well in that game no matter how you handle it. How do you handle that with the team?
Yeah, it's a weird situation, right? But for me, I go back to what can we focus on, right? Focus on what we can control, focus on the present. And right now, the present is, we have to play better football. We got to go out, and we got an opponent versus Tennessee who beat us early in the year, that we need to go out and play good against our division opponent. We need to go and win this game. Like, that's my focus. That's what's important right now. Like, in the playoffs, we'll handle that when it comes. But as of right now, how do we handle this? Like, it's all focused on Tennessee, right? We know we have ahead of us with the playoff, but to me, are we playing our best football going into the playoffs, right? You want to be kind of gain that confidence as you go into, no matter who we play, who we face. We don't know that yet, so it really doesn't matter. We can't control that. What we can control is how we play versus Tennessee.
And you're probably not able to have the kind of practices you'd really want right now, which is full pads for 3 days in a row or something like that, Coach. I'm just guessing. Correct me if I'm wrong. But how do you handle practice? You said the fundamentals, things like that. You can still focus on those things without the pads and the hitting, right?
Yeah, you can. You can focus on those things. And it's been a while for us since we put the pads on, because we had the short weeks, right, with the 3 games in 11 days. So there's only so much you can do with putting the pads on, and how much is on guys' body. It's a lot to play that amount of games in such short amount of time. So, now I think guys have had a little break. They're refreshed. So now it may be a time to go ahead and put the pads on to get back to the basics of blocking, tackling, just feeling it one more time before we go into our last game of the season.
Coach, like Tennessee, there's 16 games they've already put on film, but you did play them within the last, 5 to 7 weeks, seemingly. I mean, it feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. So, A, how much does that game give you an opportunity to look back and go, okay, this is what happened. They're going to probably do a lot of things that are similar. B, as you are going through that game and you're trying to take notes and do things, are you getting more frustrated going, God dang it, how did this happen to us on that particular day?
I'm happy I stopped that game before I came down. But I started to get a little frustrated with that game, because it's some of the same, things that kind of show up that are all things that we can control. Right. And so going back to, I know they're starting a different quarterback now, Mason Rudolph, which was, we went against Levis. Who knows? You may see both guys. But for us, man, it doesn't matter what Tennessee does. I think schematically, offensively, defense, they'll attack us the same. But it's about, how are we showing up? And that's all I want to see. It's kind of throw out the preparation and all those things. We're not doing anything new. I want to see what we've done. Can we do it better?
Well, we were just talking about it as we are in the studio here. The Dolphins game was 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks and a day ago, and it feels like a month ago, right?
It does.
And yet a lot of activity between then and now. How good does it feel to be on a, quote, normal week, so to speak? You didn't even play yesterday, so you had that extra Monday practice.
Wow, so much time. I don't know what to do with myself. It's refreshing. I would say that it's refreshing to actually not feel rushed through preparation. So I think it'll help everyone, to actually get better at the things we need to get better on. We need to practice more. We need to spend more time meeting and those things. So getting a normal week this week is very beneficial to the progress of our team.
Coach, it's a division game. Newsflash. I knew you knew that. You played against them a number of times. Now you've coached against them a number of times. Do you have, what's the right way of saying this? I don't want to ask you if you hate the Titans, but do you get that feeling of kind of rivalry? This is a team that you really get up for. I know you guys, when you were playing against them, there was some bad blood between you, both teams at a point. Do you kind of have that with Tennessee? When you see them on the field, does that give you a little bit more of a little little jolt because it is the Titans?
I mean, it does.
Yeah.
I've had my battles with the Titans.
Yeah.
They've gotten us. We've gotten them. So it's always been, I think, kind of bad blood with just the whole organization leaving Houston. So you feel that.
Yeah.
I felt that as a player. I feel that now as a coach as well. So there is bad blood. Everyone knows that. And our guys feel that and let that fuel them to go out and play well.
Take nothing away from what they did here at NRG Stadium, but when you look at that tape, do you see a lot of mistakes made and correctable things? You like to point out things that the Texans can control, and if you clean that up, things should go better.
Yeah, that's it. We have to clean up our house, right? First and foremost, and we clean those things up. That's what happened in that game. Like, we're up in that game. We're in a really good spot, and we allow just a simple crossing route to go the distance for a touchdown, which shouldn't happen. So if we make a play there, the game is completely different. And there are several other plays in the game we can make, but that one just sticks out to me the most of things that we can control, just playing with better eye discipline, right, and being in the right spot, erasing the play when it does happen, taking better angles to the football. So those things, it still eats at me a little bit when I go back and watch that game, but it eats at me, but I'm encouraged because it's like, I know we can do better in this regard. If it's something else that happens and they get us on a play, great. But if it's something that I know we've worked, things that we've done before, like, let's go out and let's do ball better, right? And then let's see what happens. That actually gives us a chance to actually compete. Like, and that's what kind of eats at me a lot too, is like, man, are we really competing? It's like, no, we're going back to the basics, fundamental eyes. Where am I looking? Where should I be? Like, let's nip that in the bud and let's line up. Man, I know where I am. I'm sticky on the route now. Let's make a competitive play and get the ball out.
Coach, we talked about this a little bit, but Kamari makes that big play the other day for the safety, and we talked about rookies and hitting a rookie wall. And it doesn't feel like he's hitting a rookie wall. Now, he might be feeling it, but it doesn't look like it with the way that he's coming up and arriving at the football and making plays. Are your young guys at this point of the year, are they staying pretty strong, even though this is week 17 on top of 3 preseason games and a trip to Ohio and starting practice on July 17th? You seen your rookies kind of hanging with it and staying pretty strong at this point of the year?
Man, I commend our rookies. I think they've handled it really well. They're handling it strong. Kamari has been doing a great job. Kamari probably tackled the best in our game. Right. Wednesday versus Derrick Henry. He did a really nice job of creating a spark for our team, getting a safety, huge play for us. He's continued to get better, and he's handled the season well. Kalen, Blake, Cade, all those guys, they're handling it well, even though I know it's weighing on them. It's hard. It's the longest you play, longest season you've had, the most football you've played, but those guys aren't making excuses. They aren't complaining. They're going out, they're working, and they're continuing to try to improve.
Yep. Coach, what can you tell the listeners and viewers about the ground game and what it's going to take to improve there? Because I know you want to see yourself run the football better. We talk about this from time to time. You've seen some good things. You've seen some things you want to clean up. What can you do to make it better at this time of year?
And the main thing with the run game, I think it's just sustaining blocks. Like, we're targeting, we're in the proper place, but it's sustaining blocks for longer. I think we start the down really good and we're on guys, and then at that moment of truth, guys are, we got to call it exiting off blocks or shedding blocks, getting off of blocks to make plays, and they're getting off of us, making those plays, and we aren't sustaining. So I think if we can sustain blocks a little bit longer, press forward more, just going more downhill, like allowing Joe to get started, I think that's will open it up in the run game. Just finding those creases like we had earlier in the year, which when we give Joe the right crease, I think he can hit it, but it gets muddy at times when we're starting outside, we cut the ball back, and it's a little muddy where we're not sustaining blocks as we should. So the more we can do that, I think that'll be the main thing.
Coach, acquiring Deontay Johnson off of waivers and bringing him here, what are your thoughts about how fast he can get up to speed, what you might be able to see from him? What are your kind of thoughts about bringing Deontay here at this point of the season?
Yeah, no, it's late in the season. Our last game, we add a new guy to our roster, but I told the guys, throw the kitchen sink at him. Let's see what he can absorb, see what he can handle, and go out here versus Tennessee, and let's see what he can do. We know he's a talented player. He's proven that at multiple stops. It's just a matter of him just coming in and, man, how much can he pick up and how can he come out and help us? And we'll see that this game, try to get him some opportunities there. And as I mentioned Deontay, man, it's fresh start with me. Every guy that I get is fresh start. Really don't care what happened in the past. Like, it's about the present and how do you attack it and how can you come and help our football team.
Well, it's a great opportunity for the entire group, right? Because you're still looking for that production. It's not that long ago you lost Tank, and Stephon was a while ago, but there's still catches to be made for the whole group, right?
For sure. We need the depth in our receiver room. Those guys probably run the most out of anybody during a game, right? They run a lot of yardage, a lot of high-speed yardage, so we need that depth. We need the rotation. And to add a guy like Deontay, I think, who's shown playmaking ability, big-time playmaking ability, like to have another threat, I think is huge for us with us losing Tank, losing Diggs. We know we've lost two of our top guys, and to make any hay, right, as you go into the playoffs, you need guys who are a threat on the outside. And we know Nico and what he's been capable of doing throughout this entire year. He's had a phenomenal year. But can we just find more guys to help him? And that's what we're looking for.
Coach, I want to ask you about a guy that unfortunately will not be playing this weekend and won't be playing the rest of the year. But I want to ask you about him for a particular reason. That's Jalen Petrie. We've talked about Jalen on the field and what Jalen does on the field and how dynamic he is in the plays. We talked about how we've missed him on the field. But off the field, he's an incredible human being. He's obviously a local guy from Stafford. He's the Texans nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. I just wanted to ask you about that and kind of earning that honor, if you will. And we talked to him before practice, and we've always loved Jalen for a number of reasons. But how great was it to see Jalen be the Texans nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year?
Man, it's outstanding to see Jalen and him receive the recognition of the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Very deserving, right? What he does with his free time, going out, providing meals for kids. Just seeing a video of him going back to his old, the Stafford Cobras and helping out, seeing the kids, how excited they were. Just to see him, like, volunteer his time to help others. It's really cool to see it. Jalen is one of the best guys, I've been around. Not talking about the player, but just the man that he is, the person that he is off the field. He's has such a great heart to help others. His family are outstanding people. Have an opportunity to talk to his parents during training camp. They're always around. And once you meet his parents, you see.
Get it, yeah.
And man, he comes from a really great family. He's a great kid, a guy who, man, I wish nothing but the best for Jalen. And he's very deserving of the award. Hopefully he wins it all because he's done a lot of great work to help the community here in Houston.
For sure.
All right, speaking of Walter Payton, running back, classic, outstanding, all-time great running back. And Johnny and I are going to be at the Kinder's Texas Bowl chairman's reception, and Eric Dickerson's a Texas gridiron legend going in. So he's another classic. Who was your favorite running back growing up? Did you have a guy that you really admired? Because Walter Payton and Eric Dickerson, a little before your time. You're a little kid maybe at the end of their careers, but discuss that for us.
Wow, man, so many great running backs when I was.
Other than Arian, of course.
I think just looking back at the old film, it was Bo Jackson, just seeing what he was able to do. And, what such a force he ran with, just, kind of sad that his career was shortened due to injury, but he was the best guy on the field. And
even though he's an Auburn guy.
Even though he's an Auburn guy, I'll give him a pass, but Bo Jackson was the guy for me.
Bo Jackson was. Who's the best running back you've ever faced? I don't know if you know this, but there have been plenty of videos that have been out there from podcasts, and these former players have been asked, who hit you the hardest? I'm sure you maybe got this forwarded to you. Marshawn Lynch said that you were the one that hit him the hardest in a particular game. Who was the running back that you, A, loved facing, or B, hated facing, maybe for the same reason that they were that good?
Love facing. Always loved facing Joseph Adai. It was always fun going against
local
him.
Kid,
hometown Houston kid. The tough. Maurice Jones-Drew. He was always tough because I always say he was so short, but he was so powerful. Like as soon as I got off a block and saw him, it was like he was almost knocking you back because he was so powerful. Who else we had? Oh, the guys from Tennessee. Oh,
Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Man, you talk about. That's the fastest guy I played against. There's probably an old highlight of him running like an 80-yard touchdown with me, not catching up. He was definitely dynamic, and man, that's the fastest guy I ever played.
This is when you start feeling a little bit older. Maurice Jones-Drew's son just committed to UCLA.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, that's too much. It's
All right.
too much.
Amegy Bank Ask Coach question of the week. It is New Year's week here. and a lot of people have New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to give you this. You have to give up one of these things for New Year's.
All right.
You have to. These are foods. You have to give up either Tex-Mex, Texas barbecue, pasta, or fish.
Ooh.
I don't know if you're probably not a fishitarian or whatever, but you like fish. They have fish here in the players' cafeteria.
Man.
But you tell me of those four, which are you going to drop?
Probably to do better, I'm dropping barbecue.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
better.
drop.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
gotta do better.
Okay,
I
yeah,
can. I do love barbecue.
Yeah.
Probably going into 2025, I need to set it aside.
Okay. All right. But you're going to keep the pasta, the carbs.
Yeah, just you need a little pasta.
Yeah.
Give you some energy.
Get
How
some
about you
energy.
guys? What do you?
That resolution would last like 2 days. There'll be like 2 days, and then they walk up, and they've got it upstairs in the press box for lunch before a game. I'd be like, okay, got to end the resolution. I would give up. I probably would give up pasta, and that would be a killer.
Me too. Me too.
Pasta would
Give
be
up
an absolute
pasta.
killer, but I'd do it.
I'll keep the
I'd do it.
barbecue. Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck this week.
Thank you guys.